My golden child sister wanted my wedding venue, and my parents sided with her like always. That's the moment I realized I'd never truly mattered to them. My life has recently spiraled into a drama that feels ripped from a bad soap opera, all centered on my wedding venue. The conflict erupted at a family BBQ hosted by my parents last week. In the middle of the celebration, my sister announced her pregnancy. Everyone was thrilled for her, but then she turned the spotlight on me. In front of our entire family, she asked if I would give her my wedding venue, claiming it was so beautiful and she couldn't plan her own right now. This wasn't just any venue. My fiancé and I had waited 3 years for our date, and our wedding was just a few months away. The room expected a cheerful yes, but I stood my ground. I told her as much as I loved her, she couldn't have my venue. She immediately burst into tears and stormed off. My nan then told me I was being selfish because my sister needed it more. When I tried to defend myself, my mother chimed in, "You waited 3 years. Would it have killed you to wait a few more months? When has your sister ever asked you for anything?" A few more hurtful comments later, my fiancé had enough. He was furious, and we left before he could tear into everyone. The fallout was instant. My sister called me, sobbing about how I always get what I want and couldn't do this one thing for her. Surprisingly, my brother-in-law called to apologize. He said he'd told her not to ask and was now angry with her. He also warned me that my sister was blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage, a problem entirely of her own making. My father bombarded me with texts. "I hope you're happy. Your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday." In response, my fiancé and I made the difficult decision to remove my sister from the bridal party, replacing her with my aunt, the only family member who supported me. We even considered uninviting my entire family. The drama escalated when my mother took it upon herself to call my future in-laws, insisting my sister should get the venue because she's pregnant. My future father-in-law told her exactly where to go, ripping her a new one for their blatant favoritism and warning they would lose me. My mother was reduced to tears, calling him a butt-face. My in-laws, bless them, immediately drove to us with supper and wine, promising to be our safety net. Update 1. The harassment continued. My sister sent a massive text berating me for being unfair and selfish, hiding behind the family card. I had finally reached my limit. I sent one text back, detailing a lifetime of being her servant. The shared birthdays because she threw tantrums, the job applications I filled out because she was too lazy, and the crowning jewel, when she ruined my graduation by wearing an expensive dress, making her own cake, and insisting on being in every photo to steal my spotlight. I ended it by saying I was done spoiling her, and that if she wanted to ruin our relationship over this, I would sleep soundly, knowing it wasn't my fault. Her only response was, "Wow, you must love me so very much," before blocking me. She unblocked me the next morning to forward a message from a wedding planner. "Hello, dear. I got the message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking. Please come by to sign the new contract." My parents had gone behind my back, attempting to steal my venue. My older brother contacted me, having heard a twisted story from my parents claiming I had offered the venue and then humiliated my sister. I told him the truth, and he believed me without question, confessing that he moved away partly due to our parents' toxic behavior. We immediately called our wedding planner, who was horrified and assured us no changes could be made without my presence. We informed all our vendors and even hired security for the wedding day at a reduced price. Update 2. My sister took to Facebook, posting passive-aggressive remarks and claiming I made her depressed. Her friends began harassing me online, and one even egged my car. I filed a police report, and my wonderfully nosy neighbor identified the culprit. After days of silence, my parents called for a meeting at our apartment. For about 10 minutes, I felt bad for my crying mother. Then we started talking. They asked why we'd canceled caterers to remove their leverage, accused me of being disrespectful, and repeated the "it's the person, not the place" mantra. I finally shot back. "Yes, Dad, exactly. But isn't it weird how that only applies to me?" The room went quiet. My father, red-faced, launched into a rant about family and sacrifice. I brought up my graduation, asking how they tried to make me happy that day. When my mother whispered, "Why do you hate us so much?" I replied, "I could ask you guys the same thing." They tried to excuse my sister's behavior as her being the youngest, but I was prepared. I opened a list on my phone, detailing every instance of favoritism I could remember. By the end, my parents were horrified and near tears. I gave them an ultimatum, family counseling, and a genuine apology, or no wedding invitation. They left and haven't called since. Update 3. My parents never wavered from their position. I was the villain responsible for my sister's depression and failing relationship. The harassment became so severe I had to block them and change my number. I deleted my social media to escape the bullying. It was a mentally draining period, but my husband's family, my friends, and my brother were my pillars. My nan showed up a few days before the wedding, begging to come. She apologized, even if she didn't fully understand my decision, and we hugged it out, though our relationship is still strained. Wedding day. The morning was relaxing, but at the venue, I saw my sister's car approaching. A friend alerted security. My sister stormed out, screaming obscenities, blaming me for her fiancé breaking up with her. As she bent down to grab a handful of mud from the freshly watered lawn to throw at my wedding dress, my maid of honor sprinted and pushed her, sending her falling backward into a flower bed. Security swiftly removed her. The incident gave me enough reason to file for a restraining order. The rest of the day was spectacular. I married my best friend. My brother walked me down the aisle, and the celebration was full of joy and laughter. We left for our honeymoon, and upon returning, I decided we needed a clean break. I got a new job in a bigger city, and we are now in the process of moving. In the most classic twist, I am now pregnant with a honeymoon baby. Through the grapevine, I've heard my sister has moved back in with my exhausted parents, still blaming me for her life falling apart. While it hurts to have lost my family, cutting out the toxicity was the healthiest decision I could have made. I am finally, truly happy.